Singer-songwriter Lindi Ortega has received critical acclaim for her music. She's incredibly talented and has had her music featured on television's The Surreal Gourmet, as well as part of Dove's campaign for Real Beauty. She has just released her second independent CD, Fall from Grace. In studio was privileged to spend some time with Lindi.
I got dark circles around my eyes. I got a funny little crooked smile. I got freckles all across my nose. But you say you're in love with those, 'cause you love me just the way I am.
I was told as a child that I was always singing in my crib when I was a baby, and but I'm sure at that point I wasn't sure that I was going to be doing it professionally. I just did it for fun.
I don't care, you say that I'm just right, 'cause I'm the apple of your eye and you love me.
And I think when I was in high school, somebody said to me, I was singing to a Cranberry song on my Walkman, and a girl at my locker next to me said, oh my gosh, you can actually sing. And I didn't really think about it up until then. I loved to sing, and I always did it at home and put on little concerts for my parents and stuff, but I never sang really in front of anybody else. And so when she told me that, I started thinking about it. Can I? Is that what I can do? And you know, I gave it a shot, and I started getting involved in assemblies at school, and that's where I sort of laid the groundwork for what I do now, and got used to performing in front of an audience. And it was after high school that I decided I wanted to do this professionally. My father was a musician. He came over to Canada on tour with a Latino band. They played top 40s music, so I grew up seeing him on stage, and when I saw him on stage, you know, just right away, it's like when you see your parent on stage, you look up to them as a kid, and it was like larger than life, and I wanted to be on stage too. So it was neat getting to see him and see the instruments that he plays and the music that he created, and knowing that, you know, potentially that was something I could do as well. So that was one inspiration. And then as far as other musicians are concerned, I always grew up listening to people like Leonard Cohen, the Gypsy Kings. My dad was into a lot of Latino music, and I just remember the Gypsy Kings being one of them. My mom was into a lot of like alt country or country music, so she listened to Willie Nelson and Dolly Parton and Johnny Cash and people like that. And I guess for myself personally, I was really hardcore influenced by Jeff Buckley. I just thought he had a phenomenal, amazing voice, and such a passion when he sang. So my first CD was released in 2002. It was definitely it was sort of my first time in a real studio, and I kind of got to put my fingers in a bunch of different paint jars when I was doing that one, you know, and I look at it like finger painting, because I really didn't know what I was doing, and it was very haphazard, but I think there was something magical about the fact that it was sort of plucked from the realms of just craziness, you know, and I wanted to try all different styles and do all different kinds of things and throw it onto one record. And so I did that, and it got, you know, it did quite successfully in terms of the reviews that it got. It got critical acclaim in Toronto from the major music publications, so I was happy to see that. But it was definitely, I'm in a bit of a different direction now than I was back then, and it was definitely sort of, it'll always remain in my memory as that first project where a lot of magic happened. After the first CD, as I mentioned, what I loved about it was the fact that it was just me being crazy and doing everything that I wanted to do, and not having any rules. And then, you know, I was sort of wanting to get more seriously involved in the industry. So people at that point were advising me to pick a direction and go in that direction, but they weren't entirely sure what would be. I was a very eclectic artist when I first, you know, came out and put that CD out. So people weren't entirely sure what direction would be best for me. So I think I was sort of pushed into directions that weren't necessarily for me. And so I took a long time just trying to figure that out, working with different producers, and then yes, that's right, I did join a band for, I think it was a year and a half, and it was a ska punk band, very much like No Doubt. And I wanted to do it because I always thought that No Doubt were a fun band, and they looked like they had a lot of fun on stage, and I wanted to try that, just something completely different from what I'd been doing, the singer-songwriter girl, I guess. So I wanted to run around stage and scream and yell, and I did that, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun for what it was, but then there was always something calling me back, and people calling me back to do the singer-songwriter thing that I do. Everybody would, I'd play a show, and then people would be like, well, that's great, but we really liked your singer-songwriter stuff. And I was a little angry about that at first, because I was like, but you're not giving this a chance, And but then I realized down the road that it struck a chord with people, what I was doing as a singer-songwriter, so I felt like I needed to go back, and I did eventually feel the pull and the drawback. So, yeah.
Just waiting to crash in midair.
This is my bedroom, and I do a lot of it in my bedroom just because it's a nice, quiet sort of area, and I read here, and I listen to music here, and all the inspirational things are in the air, I find, so I just hope that they will, through osmosis, come into my mind and help me write better songs. Sometimes it hits me out of nowhere, and I don't even know where it comes from. I don't even know, because I'm not going through a certain thing at that time that would cause me to write a song like that, and it just, I don't know how, it's the funniest thing. And when that happens, it's wonderful, and it's creepy, but I like that. And then other times it is very thought out, and I spend a lot of time working on a song, and usually it comes from, my experiences or the experiences of other people that I know, and something will inspire me in that, and I'll write a song based on that. I don't like anything about performing live. I love performing live. It's my favorite thing. I enjoy it more. Out of all the processes involved in being, a singer-songwriter, being on stage live is my utmost favorite thing.
You're over there and I'm over here. It makes no difference to me, my dear. You're in my heart, that's where you stay. I'm holding on, well, you're